In the past week and a half have been quite a whirlwind. It left a lot of voters with a lot of questions.
That's right, and anchor Shannon Pry is in the newsroom to join us with some analysis of these chaotic last 8 days. Shannon.
Hi, and joining me in the newsroom right now, Duquesne University professor Kristen Kupe. We like to talk to you at these critical junctures, right? So first question right now, I'm actually thinking about the governor of Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro. Our Mike Valenti's been covering him this afternoon. A very interesting response to him saying he's going to wait and see who is chosen to be VP, but could he be the guy?
Great answer from a great politician. I mean, his name has come up over the weekend ever since President Biden announced his decision to not continue his campaign. And I think Josh Shapiro would add a lot to the Democratic ticket. He's young, which was one of the complaints. He's very active. You know, he's a nationally recognized governor, and he's also handled a lot of policy issues that have put him in the spotlight, including his time as Attorney General with the Catholic priest and the rebuilding of I-95. So people are familiar with him, and he could be a good person.
Well, and Dr. Kupe, I should tell you and our viewers that we just got a tip that he's going from this other event where he was meeting with the EPA and the DEP for the state and going to get some of Western Pennsylvania's best Smiley cookies at an Eaton Park. So that sounds like a campaign stop to me.
It sounds like a campaign stop from someone who's not really campaigning yet. I mean, he was in Pittsburgh over the weekend. He visited Picklesburg, posted that on social media. But it's very much a Joe Biden-esque, let's stop at an ice cream shop wherever I am and meet some people. It seems like a good way to sort of break in and meet some of the voters who could potentially be supporting him as a candidate in the fall.
All right, let's talk about Vice President Kamala Harris, who wants to now be President Kamala Harris. It's a question of, yes, can she do the job, but also a question of, can she win? Can she beat Donald Trump? When would you get polling numbers that you feel like you could trust?
I mean, any of the polling anybody's talking about right now in a matchup between Trump and Kamala Harris came immediately after Biden's debate performance. And so a lot of that is still considering him as the front-running candidate. And now that he's out of the race, we need to wait at least a couple of days until we can get some accurate polling from voters now that they know that he is no longer a Democratic candidate. So I would say by the end of the week, we should have some better numbers that would give us a better idea about how she would poll up against Donald Trump.
And is she a slam dunk? Is she definitely going to be the nominee? There's a lot of things that have to happen.
There are a lot of things that have to happen, but the democratic process, both large and small d, is taking hold. We are going to see the Democratic Party kind of try to figure this out before the convention. And so we should see a call from them trying to get their delegates for the convention in line behind Kamala Harris just to meet some of the electoral ballot deadlines and to have this kind of settled before they all arrive in Las Vegas and can coronate her as the heir.